welcome to this video. It's going to be a real quick, brief video on how you can check if either your SEO campaigns are working and if you're going after the right objectives, or if your SEO company is going after the right objectives and ranking you for the right keywords, and if they're ranking you at all. So if you're asking the question, is my SEO agency doing anything for me, then chances are they might not be. So this video is probably pretty valuable for you. So these are the things that are going to be covered. What is SEO as it pertains to the video, and how it works to create revenue. We're going to be discussing local business SEO specifically. So if you're a local business, or if you could be a national business as long as you service local markets. So anything that services a local area. There's going to be 3 types of keywords we're going to be talking about. Those 3 types of keywords are going to be your #1 focus keywords that you should be completely focusing on. And that's what you'll be looking at tracking the rank for. So tracking your keywords for free in step 3. And then, the conclusion is just asking yourself, do you really know if your SEO company is getting results? So we're going to talk about what is SEO as it pertains to this video. So when we talk about what is SEO, it's the process of getting you here. Okay, when it comes to what we do, we want to get you here. This is your money section. This is what's producing the most clicks. And as you can see, our term is yoga studio. So we're doing a yoga studio in Plymouth, Michigan. So this is where we want to end up. This is our client here, #2 position. So if you're not here, you're missing out on a ton of foot traffic, on a ton of revenue, and this is where you want to be. This is the Google search engine results page, the SERPs. So there's multiple search engines. Not going to go too in depth in that, but this is technically the Google search engine results here, starting below where it says more businesses below here. And this is technically the maps results embedded into the Google search results. And now they've even added a separate section to the Google Maps, which if you click it, you'll see it, and it's the local services section. So if you're in this local services section, you're definitely a local service business, and this is how you're going to check your rank. So first, you need to establish what your keywords are. And you have 3 types of keywords, as I mentioned before. And we're going to go to this next slide. So you have primary keywords, primary keyword plus location, and secondary keywords. And the way that I like to sum these up is basically your primary keywords are going to be what you are. So for instance, and that's usually almost always your category in Google. For instance, in the yoga example, if you look, our term is yoga studio in Plymouth. If it was yoga studio, it'd be the same thing. But if you look, all of the categories are showing yoga studio. So that is going to be your primary keyword. The example here is the primary keyword plus location. And then your secondary keywords are going to be what you offer. So the services you offer. If it's yoga, it may be hot yoga, it may be yoga for kids, it could be meditation, whatever your services are that you offer, those could be secondary keywords. If it was something like, a lawyer or a plumber, right, then it might be, drain unclogging or something of those sorts. A restaurant, it may be different types of food, wine bar, stuff like that. So those are your secondary keywords. So secondary keywords are usually your services, what you offer, and primary keywords are what you are, and your category in Google. So now that we've covered that, you want to be able to track the rank of those keywords in Google, what you rank for in Google. And your basic rank trackers aren't going to cut it because they're going to give you a general. It's not location based. So if you're not looking at a location based rank tracker, then you're not getting an accurate location or accurate ranking, excuse me, for your keywords because you're a local business. So and I'll show you exactly what I mean here. So there's a free software you can use. Now, a bit of a disclaimer, it's not the most accurate. I've split tested it with our rank tracker, which we use with our agency, which is Local Viking, and we're going to show you that here in a second. I am no way affiliated with them. It is just what we use at the agency. It is much more accurate, and I've even compared it with other tools, and it's pretty dead on. And that's because it actually syncs with Google's very own Google Business API to get those rankings. And I don't believe this does because every time I test it against other things, it's not as accurate. But anyhow, this free tool is going to be to check your actual ranking, and that's the local ranking we're talking about. SEO companies love providing vanity metrics. Make sure they're not pulling your leg and manually check these rankings with MyHappyBusiness.com yourself. So we're going to go over to MyHappyBusiness.com, and I've already got a ranking grid. We're just going to refresh it. So here's the address that we want to rank in. So that's all it is. You put your keyword in, put your address here. So keyword on top, address here. It's gonna be at United Kingdom when you first get here. Set it to wherever you're at. I'm assuming United States. And then this is gonna be 7 by 7. I use a 13 by 13. You could check more if you want, 15 by 15, whatever. But I noticed that with this, it gets even more inaccurate the further away from the location that you get. Even if other rank trackers are saying you're still ranking farther out from the location, this one's kind of not really the most accurate. So if you look, the red dot is the location that you plugged into here. So if we click that location, we'll be able to see what's ranking in that location. It should be you ranking in that location. If you're not ranking #1 for your actual location, then you definitely have problems. But we can go to, so let's pick a dot away from the location. So we're picking a dot there. We can see we rank #3 there, right? By clicking that dot, I could see where I rank. Now the problem with this is when you're measuring an SEO campaign, there's no way to really keep track of all this, a history of this, and you really need to be keeping a history of, how you're ranking in each one of these bubbles. Are these bubbles improving? And what these bubbles represent, and I don't know about this, it looks like these bubbles represent about a quarter mile. Looks like there's about 4 in between each mile. These roads are a mile apart. So I would say each one of these bubbles represent the ranking. If someone was Googling yoga studio, someone's typing into Google yoga studio over here. They're in this location over here and they're typing in yoga studio. Same with, any bubble on this. It's just the location of the person who's searching this in Google and what's showing up for them in that location, right? So this helps. As said, it's not as accurate. I know we're dominating pretty much all of Plymouth for this keyword, and I know if I click, so we're #3 there too. So it's decent. It gives me different results. It's free though, so you can play with it and kind of track things. But like I said, you can't track history. When it comes to us and how we track, we use Local Viking. It's $39 a month for one location. So worth it if you really want to track your results. Maybe, just do it a few months. I definitely think it's a necessary expense if you're doing SEO campaigns. You really want to track this part of it. This is the grid ranking, same, the yoga studio we're talking about. This was the yoga studio's ranking May 21st. We were able to take this, take this shot of the ranking, and I'll go into the dashboard to show you a little bit. take this shot of the ranking. So this was in May, and then here is October 3rd. So we ran this today. Today is October 3rd. And as you can see, the grid's lit up. Now, if we want, we can go back and pull up, the history, and I can go back. Well, I can show you this too. So there's, with location, I'll open it in a new tab. So if we add Yoga Studio in Plymouth, you can see we're lighting up the grid all the way out. And this is what an SEO agency should be doing for you. They should be getting your grid to light up across, the state, and further out. So this has only been a few months in, so we should be increasing ranking further and further out as we move forward. Back. So if we go back, we can go back to their, original ranking, and that's what we're seeing. So, from there to this, is what it should be, and this was just in a few months for Yoga Studio. It gets more complicated and takes a little more time when you're talking about something like a restaurant in New York, like what we have here. Italian restaurant, Hell's Kitchen. That's a section of Manhattan. So we're talking about probably the busiest area in New York, Manhattan, and an Italian restaurant is the key term. And see if I got that pulled up. And now this is what we rank for it. States over. So this grid was taken July 28th, 2022. And this was August 9th, which we were ranking before that. It's just one of the more recent grids. So as you can see, that's how your ranking should be improving. Again, each one of these bubbles represents where you're ranking at in Google when someone searches this keyword in this location. So they're in this location, they're sitting on their phone, and they're looking for something to eat, and they type in Italian restaurant, Hell's Kitchen, all right? We're showing up number 3 here, and you better believe, and so this is the location. As you can see, we just dropped a pin. You better believe there's Italian restaurants all through here, like everywhere. We're over here, and we're outranking the restaurants that are over here. So that's the way it should be if you're doing SEO the right way. Again, and then even this, like I said, this was in July. This is how we're actually ranking now. We're ranking number 1. We're, beating everyone. So this is what should be going on, and this is how you should check your ranking.